Here we are. I don't know. I've got store-bought glasses on. I'm having a hard time seeing it still. They said in the store that, oh, you need a higher magnification than we are allowed to have in our, well, with CVS, right? We're not allowed to have magnification in here bigger than 275. Some other stores, though, they have magnifications like Lowell's and all that. They have magnification up to 325, but they're all gone because they're the ones that work. Wouldn't you know it? Anything that works. But CVS is saying if you have magnification needs more than 275 on these glasses, they go like 100, 150, 200, 250, 275. Then they're up to 300, 325. And now they've got them now where you can adjust them to whatever eye you can see with. I don't know how much money. I'd like to have a pair of those. I'll look them up, see what I can do. I got my new Visa card. I don't charge on the internet anymore with the regular bank card. I get a Visa card that has money on it, and if they grab my number and try to grab anything from me, they can't get more than what's on the card, so I don't lose my whole bank account or whatever they're threatening. And then the main thing is that the fraud departments, they check everything out there. They call you, and then if you complain and no, I didn't charge that, then there's a charge. I'm pretty sure because they have to hire a company to investigate and everything. Where did your money go and all that? So I had 6 violations last year. You know what my bank did? Took my credit card away from me. Punished me for the hoodwinkers' crimes against me, but punished me because I charged on the internet. So what it's doing is it's causing them money because they got to pay the fraud departments to investigate and get your money back and all that. If you had 6 violations, I don't know how much they charge. So they're not making enough money on you. So they take away your privileges. They did that to me. I don't know if that's illegal or not. I just was told you can't charge on the internet anymore. Your Visa card privileges are revoked. You're not going to be able to use them on the internet. And I says, well, where can I use them? They said the ATMs. I says, well, give me a list of ATMs that don't cost me money to use them, and I'll use those. And the guy laughs at me. He says, you'll have to come inside and talk to one of the agents if you want that list. So I said, well, I'm in a hurry right now. I'll be back. And I never got back, so there's supposed to be some type of a list you can use if you want to go to ATM and not be charged $2.50 or $300 or $3, 300 pennies, 250 pennies or 300 pennies to use their services. And so I went back, and they had a new president in at the time. I went back, new president of the department or whatever it is of their bank. He's a new director. I sat down, I told him what happened and everything, and he said, we can fix that. So he fixed it and got me reinstated, and now I've got my card. I don't charge on the internet anymore. I buy a Visa card, and it has $200 on it or $500, either one. You got to buy them before 8 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock at night, because if you do, buy them after 8, they won't register. You can't buy them. They won't, your card will not accept the payments on something after 8 o'clock at night. It's a Visa. The Visa won't accept it because they have to take and program them, put the numbers in and all that they gave you. You gave them $200, and that card is now worth $200 plus a $7 fee for $7.95, something like that. As processing fee and the cost of the card and all that, but you have to put the money up front. And it was something I didn't know, and you got to change it though. What I didn't know, when you got the card, it says, give us your PIN number. And I'm going, I don't have a PIN number. I'm just using the card. I don't have a PIN number. Well, you're supposed to call the number when you activate. I don't know. This card, this Visa card I got, this is what happened. Because I had a gift card from some other place where you didn't have to do any of that stuff. But the Visa ones, you have to call this number and put your numbers in and give them your security number and give you, all the things. You know, they ask for all that. And then if you don't do it quick, they hang right up on you. So you got to be ready when you get in there. So I don't know. I'm giving it a shot. It cost me $200. If that was a scam or something, then I'm gonna be out $200. But it didn't cost me all my money in the bank, and some scammer. And that's what they do. They got hoodwinkers out there that got it all planned out. What they're gonna do, they can get any information on you, your cookies that go into the phone or whatever. Did you ever notice that your advertisements are just what you want? Did you ever notice that? That's because they grab your cookies. Hey, I want a cookie. That's what they all say. Give me your cookie. Yeah, because they put you into a thing and then they got you categorized. Well, they sell your information to the people who have money for ads and stuff. I mean, we're talking about millions of dollars here, people, for ads. They're looking to make sure their ad goes to the right place. And the cookies that you put in there and the monitoring that they do of your computer, they know everything about you. What you buy, where you go, what your interests are, blah, 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 blah. So when you get an ad, it's not for something you don't want. It's something you got an interest in. And companies like that will pay big money because they're not doing it all over the United States. And taking, I hope they get somebody. They're going to people who have an interest in that area. And they might sell their product quicker without all the advertisement money going to nothing. I mean, I've seen people go to their mailbox and there'll be a stack, 3 inches thick. And, and they look at it real quick and then they just throw it in the garbage. They don't even open it up. Oh, you mentioned that's happening all over the United States. So, but if there's something there that's of your interest and you see, oh, I'll save this. Maybe I'll look at this. Oh, I'll save that. That's what they're looking for. And they'll pay big bucks for it, too. And that's what this guy in YouTube's doing. He learned how to beat the system. Now he's filthy rich. I mean, he went down to, he's got a gaming name. His name is Mr. Beast. And man, this guy is generous. He is generous. I prayed for 3 years for water wells in Kenya. 3 years. I cried on some of my tapes. They're all on the YouTube. I'm not lying. You can go right there and watch all my tapes. I've got 4 channels. William D. Nixon. I live at my zip code, 13901. Right? So that's my zip code. I don't live exactly in the center of that. I live on the outside of it, but that's I'm not telling you my dash, 7545 or something like that. That's a fictitious dash, but I'm not in Binghamton. I'm on the outside of Binghamton. 13901. Anybody goes there, they're going to say Binghamton, New York. Well, I'm on the outside. I got a little hermitage. Nobody comes here. My wife and I are the only ones inside here. A couple people knocked on the door, trying to sell Jesus somehow. I give it to them, too. They walk away. They hear the truth. I let them know it. I don't shout at them or anything. I give them things to think about. Because they're just out in the world. They don't know who they're going to come across. They're trying to witness, but that's the part of their ministry. They feel, after they go out and do that ministry, they feel persecuted and they're closer to their faith. Who set them out. You know, because they come out, oh, this happened? Well, we knew some of the people that happened to. Oh, and then you get your comradeship, you know. Oh, you get closer and closer into your church and all that. That's their tactics. The only one thing that God's looking for is faith, love, and forgiveness. Forgiveness. Divine, merciful forgiveness. There's two types of forgiveness. I'm only at the first level. I forgive. But I don't want you around if you're stealing from me. Hit the road, Jack. Don't come back. I don't want you around. But God's divine, merciful forgiveness, here's what God does. He goes, oh, you stole from me. Oh, come on over here. Sit down and have a cup of coffee and a sandwich. We'll talk about it. See what's going on. How come you're stealing and all that stuff? What's the matter with you? You know, and try to work it out with them, you know, and forgive them and forget and give them another chance or what. That's divine, merciful forgiveness. That's the way God forgives. I'm not God. I'm trying to be like God, but I'm not God. I haven't reached that level yet. It takes me a while to forgive. Maybe, I don't know, an hour or two. My wife, it takes 3 or 4 days because I am a shouter. I don't let her take control. I am the master of the house. Jesus is the head of the house, but he's made me the master of the house. And my wife is submissive to me, and I give her everything she wants. Everything. I built this house for her. I gave her the best room in it. I gave her all the furniture she wanted. Beautiful furniture. I even gave her my office. I had a cathedral ceiling in my office, all made of knotty tongue and groove pine. The whole room, the cathedral. I designed the windows and everything. I gave it to her. I moved down in the cellar. I got the back porch too now, most of it, because I'm gonna have that as my wood shop in the summertime. Everything's all set up out there now. It's just too cold. I got to get that thick 2-inch styrofoam insulation and cut it out big enough to put it into where all my squares are, where the screen is now. Just cover it over, put some visqueen over it for the wintertime, and then just put some type of electric heater out there or something. You know, that's all I need, just to take the chill off. I love it when it's a little bit chilly, but I don't want it freezing cold. My fingertips are freezing off. I'm going, I don't want that. But I got my wood shop. That's what I do with my wood shop. I think about it. He says, God, I went through so much in the last 90 days. I went through 9 days around approximately 9 days of drug withdrawal. I withdrew from 4 drugs, 2 drugs I was aware on, and 2 drugs I wasn't aware I was withdrawn from. Acetaminophen, which was in my hydrocodone, I withdrew from too. So that's one of the drugs, and then hydrocodone was the other, and then the liquid marijuana. I'm on the liquid marijuana program for New York State, and I had to withdraw from it. I lost 158 pounds on it. You should see me. You know, when I first started making these films, I was a big guy. And I had a prayer meeting, one that I did, and I came in, there was an empty couch there, an empty chair, and the music started, and I come walking in, grunting and groaning, you know, I come in, and I sit down on the chair, and I'm a big ape sitting there, you know, and it reminded me, you know, like, they say we all come from apes, everybody. Yeah. Oh, we know, there's evolution. Look at that. It's a proven fact out there. He didn't come from apes. The Spirit of God didn't come from apes. God gives a soul to this temple. Who knows? It might be from an ape. I don't know. I don't know how God evolved everything, but the soul is what God is interested in, because the soul leaves the body after death. And what was the soul like? The soul has a fragrance to God. Oh, that's holy. I want that soul. Bring it over here. Oh my God, nice. Holy soul. And then he goes, what's that smell? Yuck. What is that smell? Hate. I smell it. I know what hate smells like. Hate. Hate begets hate. Then a form of suicide sets in. Greed for your money. And that's the whole world right now. Greed for our money. And you're not getting any of it back either with arbitration. And we were sold out, people. Sold out. No more court. If you don't like it, go to some other company. There isn't any other company that isn't owned by a foreign nation somewhere. It's a nation. I mean, the foreign country buys the business. Well, they come in, they lobby, and what do they do to you? Take your rights away. You can't take them to court because it's arbitration. And during arbitration, it's like a fighter. It goes into the hometown. He's got to knock the guy out to win because he ain't going to get a decision. And that's the way arbitration is. It's in their favor. They make the decision. And the hometown boy always wins. All the time. I've had 2 arbitration cases. One verbal on my own and one through PayPal. I lost both of them. And I was right. I sent him money in for a Bible. A Bible, an Aramaic Bible, and translated into English. I wanted to see what it looked like. I was curious. $40. Okay, boom. Oh, a lot of time went on. I said, well, I'm going to call up PayPal and let's find out. Oh, okay, we'll check it out. And then, so they're arbitrating it. We'll give you a call and let you know. Send you a letter and stuff. And I says, oh, okay, I'll wait. No, I didn't hear nothing. So I called back. And I said, what happened to my arbitration case? What did they do? I get my money back? I didn't get no Bible. They says, no, they arbitrated it. And they said, they sent you the Bible. You owe them the money. That's the way it was. That's the way PayPal didn't give me my money back. I never went to PayPal after that. I don't know, sometime I was going to forgive them a couple times and started making an application, but they made it so difficult because after that incident, I must be in the system somehow and being blackballed because they made it so difficult. I filled out the application and everything, and it wouldn't go through. So I says, oh, okay, well, no forgiveness for them then, because they're not going to forgive me. If you don't forgive, you don't get forgiven. You give, and then you get. And what you give is what you get. That's the way life is. That's my story of Our Lady of the Bumblebee. I got a song I'm singing about it too. Our Lady of the Bumblebee had mercy on me. And it's a story. I was in the jungle in Florida. Young buck. Looking for a buck to shoot with my bow and arrow. I was good at it, too. I could hit the bullseye at 20 yards, no problem at all. No problem. I was good at it. And I didn't have a compound bow either. I had the long bow. No sights or nothing. I was an instinctive hunter. And I pulled back a 70-pound bow. I know guys that had 100-pound bows, but even as strong as I was, it was hard to hold it. Because sometimes when you pull it back, you got to hold it for a minute or two. And man, you start shaking. The whole thing starts shaking. And by the time a minute and a half, 2 minutes goes by and the turkey's coming right up to you and he's looking you right in the face. But you can't, the bow's going all over the place. So you just let it go and it hits the stump on the side. Turkey looks at it and he goes, what the heck? And he walks away. Because your arm's so tight you can't pull back another arrow and put it in him. He just walks away from you. I had that happen to me. Exactly like I told it. How else would I tell it that way unless it happened to me, right? So here I am with my bow and arrow, and that happened. So I'm back, and I'm down in a swamp. Now in the swamps, jungles in Florida, all there are holes about 4 feet in diameter that go into the jungle, and they're all over the place, all over the place. They're all the same thing. You can just go on. It looks like there's houses, little tunnels going all through. That's where the hogs come out and lay in the mire during the day and then go back in the woods at night, because it's hot. It's so hot, 105, 110 degrees out there. And they got to get in the water and lay in the mire and eat the sawgrass or whatever they eat. I don't know. Chew their cud. They must be eating something out there, because I hear them. That's what you hear all the time when you're out there. So you don't want to go in those caves with a bow and arrow. You want to go in those caves with a gun, because you don't know they twist and wind and turn. You don't know what's around the corner or what can come flying out at you waiting. I mean, there's things in there that eat bears. That's what I heard. Big, huge anaconda snakes kind of like thing. Take a bear and just strangle it to death. Small bear. But I've seen them bigger than that. I saw one that ate a alligator, a 14-foot alligator. A snake big enough in Florida to eat a 14-foot alligator. They're right on the internet. Go on YouTube and see what's happening down there. It's gone wild. Everybody's brought in exotic animals, and they're all through that jungle down there. You don't go into that jungle hunting for something, because when you go into that jungle, you're being hunted by something. That's for sure. And that's what happened to me. I have a little story real quick. There was a big pool in the middle of the Tanahanahatchee River off the St. James River down there in Florida. Between Cocoa Beach and Orlando, there was a Star City, and all the roads that were in the back of it were all designated for homes. They got a land front deal. They sold lots that were 75 foot wide, and they had to be 100 foot to build a home on. So all these people bought all these lots because some greedy guy get in there and he split his lots up to 75 foot. With him being stupid, he don't know anything about real estate and all that stuff. Or maybe he did know and he committed land fraud. He split all the properties up and they couldn't build houses. So what do? You got to go in and change the laws and all that stuff. So all them roads were back there and no buildings on them because it was in court. Oh, they went out in the middle of nowhere. And they'd stop at that St. John, Tanahanahatchee River deal that they had down there. And they had big pools and canals running off those pools, to take the water off the land and all that stuff. Because years and years ago, back in the 50s and stuff, that was all underwater. But because for some reason we're sucking all the water up out of the land, see? It's an aquifer. We suck all the water out and drink it all and use it for this, use it for that. Saltwater flush comes in. You got your salt water, and then you got your fresh water down here. Salt water's up here. The fresh water gets drained out. And what happens? The salt water goes down and takes its place, see? And what do you got? You got brackish water now. You want a cup of coffee in the morning? Oh, it's happened to a lot of people. Especially in Newport Richie and all up down through there. All them coastal cities. Ocean's right there. They drain all the water. 200,000 people come in and start sucking the water out, and the water level goes down, and then lets the ocean come in on top of it, seep in. Then you got brackish water mixed in, and you got to have reverse osmosis, some type of a unit like that, water filtration or something to clear the water up and get the salt and everything out of it and everything. Because reverse osmosis, 1 micron or above, is taken out of the water. Your fish slime and frog puke. And you never think of that when you turn on a faucet, do you? You're drinking frog puke. And everybody and their brother lives in that river. There's turds floating all over the place with flies on them. Oh, God. Little kids go down and mommy says, go down and get us a bucket of water and bring it back home so I can cook it up and we can make some breakfast and wash around the house and maybe do a few things with the water. And then they go twice a day to go get it. Once in the morning, once later in the afternoon. Because it weighs 44 pounds. A little 10-year-old kid, 11-year-old kid. Okay, Mommy. I ate the bucket. And they hold their sister's hand and they go skipping down to the water. And they get to the water and they look it all over, and there's mud hut people all over the water washing their clothes. And I ain't getting no water next to the shoreline, so they go out in the middle. It's a drought. It's the waist high now. It's a drought. But the gators are the crocs, not gators. These are crocodiles as big as a Ford Ranger truck and weighs more. And they're watching for their next meal. And they're calculators. Because they got to calculate, how am I going to get my teeth into that so I can have some dinner? They figure it out, too. Because one day you go down there and they know your habits, how you go, where you go. And they're out there under the water waiting for you. And they grab you. And they got 100 cases a year. I heard that. I almost started crying. In fact, a couple of times, a couple of my movies, I am crying for the little children down there. So that's where this Mr. Beast comes in from YouTube. Since COVID, I've been making these videos. They're proof. It's right on the internet. You can go right to William Nixon. I got William at, what is it? William at user dash GF1 WQ1 CV4E. That's my line. I have a lot of my spiels on it, and a lot of my music is on that line too. And then they added another one onto that. Now I don't have it memorized yet because it's just recently. I got 7 films or 8 films on that one. Matter of fact, I think that's where some of these, like this film right here, is going to go or went to. And I don't know how to get them on the internet, so I gotta do some more research and do some praying, and hopefully somebody sees this and says, "Hey, this is pretty cool, man. Maybe we can do something with this." Because I have a lot of products here I talk about, especially with my Guild guitar. Oh man, I got a brand new Guild 12-string. Why didn't I buy one of those 50 years ago? I'm thinking I would have had a whole different experience, because instead of me singing to the guitar sings to me. And now they got a cutaway and it's electric. Either acoustic or electric, you can do it. Sounds just as good acoustic as it does electric. Well, it amplifies. Electric, you don't have to hit it as hard. You can brush it a little bit easier too, and it picks it right up. But when it's acoustic, you gotta put some pressure on it, your thumb, and it irritates your thumb after you've been playing a couple hours. It wears the skin right off of it, or it causes a callus on it. That's what I'm going through. So to get back to the holes in Our Lady of the Bumblebee. See, you thought I was drifting off. Yeah, I was. But God brings me back. And everybody's looking at me. No, doesn't he look Chinese? And the Chinese thought I looked like Chinese. I was a Chinese or Japanese or what. I don't know. The Japanese eyes go up, slant up. The Chinese eyes slant down. I don't know. What do they do when one slants one way down and the other one slants up? What do they call it that? Americanese? Yeah, I'm Americanese. Yeah. One eye is down, the other one's up. Yeah. I can prove I'm Americanese. Here, watch. There it is. Americanese. I'm full of joy. I've got a beautiful message for everybody. Our Lady of the Bumblebee. So, I didn't go into those tunnels. I went in a few of them, and I got, this is too dangerous here. I turned around when I got back out, or I got lost. Because you can get lost in there. Make a wrong turn to another tunnel, then you don't know if you don't have something on the ground. Fall back in, you're stuck in the jungle. Wandering around, not knowing how to get out. I've been there. I lucked out and got out. I wonder how many people haven't. People got in the jungle, and we never saw him after he went into the jungle. No one ever saw him again. That's all they say, too. Yeah, He went in the jungle, nobody ever saw him again. Something jumped out and grabbed him and ate him. Who knows? Wrapped around their neck and swallowed them. If you're a 160, 180-pound man, you can go right down through those little tunnels that are made for bears and hogs, big hogs too. Because there's a lot of domestic hogs that went wild down there. It's not uncommon to see a black and white hog or a brown and white hog. The hog guy, the game warden played a trick on us one time. We got a brown hog and a black hog. They were wild. And we filleted them and we got them on the grill. And, we're going to have some pork loins and all that stuff. And he pulls up, you got a couple hogs on it? Yeah. Oh, I see you got a brown hog. Oh. He says, there's no open season on brown hogs. I'm sorry. And I'm looking at him, and who got the brown hog? I didn't get the brown hog. Who shot the brown hog? And then I watched him, right, and he went around the tree, and I caught him glimpsing, he was laughing. He was kind of like chuckling to his eyes. Oh, this is a joke. Something's happening here. No open season on brown hogs. And he came out the other side. I said, come on, man, what is this? He says, I was only kidding you. He says, I pull that on a lot of people. He goes, they don't know the difference. Here I am, I'm just giving them some Irish humor, that's all. And I said, that's cool. I can enjoy my dinner now. On an upset stomach. Thank you very much. So, then I just shot about eight squirrels while I was in the woods. I see a squirrel, bam, get him. I'm gonna have dinner tonight because I didn't have anything to eat. So I bring them back to camp. The squirrel's back to camp, and there's another camp right adjacent to us. Bunch of guys. They didn't hunt squirrel. They were out hunting hog. So I had 8 squirrels, and I said, hey, anybody want a squirrel? Man, they come running over. Oh, they took the squirrel and they started biting its tail off and ripping the skin off it. You don't like squirrel? Oh, man. Where are these guys coming from? Down Louisiana or down Louisiana, man, they love squirrel. In the jungle. You're a jungle hunter. You don't realize that you go in hunting and you're being hunted. That's what Florida is. So I'm in the middle of this big opening, and I turn around, and guess who's right behind me? Mama Hog and her 6 little piggies, 3 on each side of her. She's got her hair up on her back, and she's looking at me like this, with her hair up in the back, and her hair went up like that. And I'm going, uh-oh. So I pull my bow back, and she was only about 10 yards, or less than 10 yards. 5 yards, maybe. 5 times 3, 15 feet, yeah. About 10 or 15 feet away. I'm dead at 20 yards. I can hit the bullseye every time at 20 yards. I'm an instinctive shooter. I know right where to put the bow and how to aim it and everything. Zip, in the center it goes. I was real good at it. So I'm standing about 15 feet away from her, and I got my bow pulled right back. Got the arrow right between her eyes. And I couldn't, the little babies, she had 6 little babies. They weren't even a couple weeks old, I couldn't shoot her. I said, I looked at her, and I don't know, God was watching, because here's what happened. I said, Mama, I talked to her, I go, Mama, if you charge me, I'm going to let this arrow go. And I stopped, and I had a thought, stomp your foot like a deer to warn. Because that's what happens in the woods. You see a deer, he'll go. If he sees you, he don't know what you are, or anything, he'll stomp his foot. And that's a warning. And the mama hog knew the warning, so I stomped my foot, and I went, stomped my foot. And she kind of like relaxed, and her hair went down. She turned around and walked away with her 6 little piggies. Imagine that happened to me. That happened to me. I swear to God. God is my witness. That happened. So here I am. I saw this buck go down through there just earlier, right? And I'm waiting at this big stump. next to the river. Big pool, too. I don't know what was down in that pool. It was deep. There was something big down there for sure. Because that deer didn't go anywhere near that pool. He knew that there was something big in there. So he skirted around the outside of it and all that. He didn't go diving, running through it and swimming through it or anything like that. I waited by that stump and I'm going to get this. When he comes back up through. He went down there. I don't know why he was going. Maybe I spooked him or what. Because his doe, he had a doe. And his doe never saw a human being before. And I went down there, and I was standing in that opening, and she came, popped. I heard a kaplunk. I turned around just slightly. I looked. It's a doe. She comes up to me. She looks at me. I got camouflage on. She's trying to figure out what am I. And I got this bow. And I got horns. It's rutting season. She says, "What's this? What's going on here?" And a new kind of who is this? Is it a buck or something? I don't know. I'm only 2 years old, or a year old, or whatever she was. I never saw a human being before, or never with horns. What's going on here? I didn't think about this until after I thought about it, years later. I think about what happened. I think about, God, you did this with me, you did that with me, and we did this. And I never gave it a second thought. And that doe jumped out of the woods thinking I was a buck. And it was rutting season. I was standing right in the middle of her piss pile where she pissed. You could smell it. That's the way it was down there. And you could smell where the buck are and stuff because the does piss. And during rutting season, that's where you go stand. Because that's all they smell is doe piss, and they're wacky. They're like, "Where's that doe? All right. Come on, Mama. Where are you? You're going to make a baby." Whatever. This isn't for children anyway. Well, I'm just emphasizing and trying to show us what I went through, I went right over my head because I didn't even want to give it the floor to what some pervert would be thinking of doing. I don't want to give the floor to that guy. But I didn't think about it until a long time after, years after. Why that doe jumped out of the woods, and I was standing in her piss pile, her urine, and she come up sniffing me, or figuring, what the heck is this? Now I didn't smell because I go in the woods, I wash all my clothes, I don't have any type of deodorants on or anything. I'm just I've been trained by my friends and stuff that good deer hunters, and I couldn't go with them if the deer could smell me. And so I had to do all these rituals and stuff that they do with the laundry and don't wash with soap and, all this other stuff that they had me doing, That's the way I was trained. I was trained. A cultural clash. I had a friend, Billy. Billy and, what was the other guy's name? Jimmy. Jimmy and Billy. Jimmy and Billy. That's my brother Jimmy. And I'm Billy. And there's Mike. 3 brothers. So anyways, where was I? See what happens? There's an example of Parkinson's disease. Sidetracked, and then trying to go back to your thought, and it's not there. I mean, you can do it naturally too, but I do it more than naturally. I do it a couple times, 3-4 times a day. I got to get a tool. I go to the tool room. I look through it, and I'm looking through this and that. I got 4 or 5 other projects working on. I do 5 minutes on that one, 6 minutes on that one. I got to get that tool. I go in there and get the tool. What tool am I looking for? I can't remember what tool I'm looking for. I have to go back to the job and start doing what I was doing to remember what tool I needed. That's how I do it. Parkinson's. Shaky hands syndrome. So I was making it do this right now, but because I'm like that right now. So I'm calmed down a little bit because I'm a little bit. I have some medications. I took Celebrex. I don't take hydrocodone or any type of opioids anymore. I pulled off of that 9 days of a madman. They should have put a straitjacket on me till I cooled down. Oh, God, I was busting everything I owned. My TVs, because of the warranties they didn't honor. My telephones, because they were driving me nuts with them. I got video after video about what they were doing to me. I'm going through a withdrawal, and I'm thinking about this stuff too. I want to put my fist through the wall. I didn't because I knew I would break my hand. So I didn't do it. I was smart enough to not do that, but I wasn't out to hurt anybody either. But I was just so furious about everything that was happening to me. Plus going through a drug withdrawal. The liquid marijuana, I was only taking one vial. One vial of it. That's all. I take one vial of it, and I get hungry, and I make something. I come down and sit down and take 2 bites, and I'm not hungry anymore. I lost 158 pounds. I was on a year and a half, something like that. Then I withdrew from it and got off of it. It wasn't that hard. I didn't think withdrawing from liquid marijuana, but I didn't withdraw from 4 drugs at the same time. Liquid marijuana, hydrocodone, acetaminophen, and modafinil. Modafinil was a substance that keeps you awake. Provigil is modafinil is a generic. That only costs $49 a month, but the Provigil, you got to be a rich man to get that at $1,600 a month. And modafinil is just a hint to what the Provigil is. Whoa! I thought that's the pill for me. And then they cut it in half, so it was $800 a month because I was disabled vet. So they gave me a break on the price, half price. I mean, who can afford $800 a month? I can't. I did it one time just to see what I had a VA new doctor. And she knew about the drug, and she said, I can write you a prescription, but the VA can't cover this Provigil stuff, so you have to get your own prescription. I'll write you a prescription for it. I said, okay, let me give it. So I conjured up the monies. I got it as cheap as $698, something like that I paid for it. She says, because this stuff is going to work, you're going to like it. I said, oh, okay. Because I'm narcoleptic. Falling asleep all the time, can't read more than 5 minutes. I'm, you know. I wasn't looking for anybody. Oh, man, you set of vitamins? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm breathing hard and everything. Oh, I can hardly wait to do that. Oh, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to do that. That's a set of vitamins. But modafinil, it's a derivative of Provigil, or whatever they call it. And they don't know what's in it. They give it to the Air Force pilots, and their efficiency improves 18 to 20%. Their agility and their alertness and all that stuff. But they don't feel anything. You don't feel anything. No euphoric effect to it at all. You're just awake, not falling asleep. And that's what I got. But that Provigil, oh man, that makes a new man out of you. I don't know. I took cocaine one time. I snuffed it. And that Provigil was somewhat like cocaine. Provigil. But it's 16. It's a rich man's drug. Maybe it is cocaine. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know how they make it. They don't even know what's in it. They ask them what's in it. They have a chemical breakdown and all that stuff, but they don't know how it works. They're studying it. And the only ones that can afford it, and usually they're not very protective of their money because they're all healthy and they're not going to get themselves hooked on something and not live long with all the money they got. That's what keeps them alive. They got all this money and they want to stay alive. So it's a rich man's drug because it helps you be alert and stay alive and keep your weight down and all that stuff. It does several things. Now, see, I'm starving for oxygen because if you go hiccup, like that, you're starving for oxygen. You're talking too much. You're not taking deep enough breaths. So you start hiccuping. Start saying, hey, come on, man. Take some deeper breaths. Come on. So here I am at the pool, right, with them. And there's this big stump there. And guess what comes out of this big stump? A bee oh, I don't know. This is a metal, right? Okay. A bee about that big. It's yellow and brown, and you can hear it hum, man. It's like bzzz, bzzz, and it's constant, And it's just standing there and it's hovering and it's looking at me over the stump. I'm looking at it and I'm going, what the heck? I've never seen a bee that big before. And it darts at me, makes me go like this. It's got my attention, man. I'm going, what the heck's going on here? This thing wants me to get away from the stump, so I move back a little bit. And then when I move back away from the stump, it flies out over the pool and then follows the shoreline around to the back of me. And guess what's there? One of the biggest crocs I've ever seen in my life. Not crocs, but alligators. As big as a croc. Just staring at me. Can't get quite up the bank because there's a hog fence there and he can't get through. It's slippery. Just can't get up because he wants to get up hydroplane and push me into mommy and daddy waiting at the bottom of the pool. And it was supper tonight for me. But guess what happened? That bee went around and I watched it and it dipped down and it hit that croc gator right on the head. Bounced off of it almost. Looked like it bounced off of it. And then when I saw it, I watched it and I saw what it would bounce off of. And it was that big croc looking at me. And his eyes met my eyes and he slapped his tail on the water. He was pissed. I saw him. He was trying to get up behind me to hydroplane and then charge me like a horse. They can run as fast as a horse. Yeah, in short spurts. He was a big alligator too. I estimated him probably 15, 16 feet long. Now the crocs down in Kenya, they're the ones that eat all the gazelle and zebras and all that stuff. They're big. They're as big as my Ford Ranger truck, and they weigh more. I saw 20 guys trying to move them once, and he was determined you weren't going to move them. He just dug right in, and they couldn't move them. 20 guys with ropes and everything trying to move them. They couldn't move them. He was a big croc, and that's what's eating these babies. They go out there, and they've been watched for maybe a week or two. They're not in a hurry. They only eat a couple times a year anyway. They're big. How do they get that big and only eat? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's more than a couple times a year. But they can live off a couple times a year, still survive. So they're observing these little children going out and where they go and how they get their water, because they always go out. They have a ritual. They smooth the water out and then dip down and get the bucket. They don't want turds floating in the top of the bucket when they get up. And they don't fill the bucket all the way up. They fill it about 3/4 of the way up, and then they get out of the water and they walk home with it and give it to mommy. And she heats it up and they do the dishes and they wash with it, and she does maybe some clothes or feed the dogs. I don't know what she does with the water, but they're getting diarrhea from it and all kinds of water diseases out of that water, because everything in their brother lives in that river. Everything. I mean, there's turds in there I couldn't recognize. It's like the bear shit in the buckwheat. How do you know that? How do you know? How do you just find a bear turd in a buckwheat? I don't know. That's an old saying too. But Our Lady of the Bumblebee. I had mercy, and mercy was shown me, because at Mama Hog and her little babies, I had my bow pulled back. Some just narcissistic sociopath or something with no empathy for life would have put that arrow right between her eyeballs, and too bad about the babies, piggies. Something will get them. I don't want to eat them anyways. They're too small. Probably the best eaten of all anyways, but I'll just take this Mama Hog. And then they find out what she was suckling. She was suckling. The meat's no good. The meat's no good on a suckling hog. So I didn't know that. Because if she would have been there looking at me like that without babies on her, she'd be on my supper table. because I was looking for a hog or a deer or something. And I've shot some before. I was a hunter. I shot deer. I shot turkey. I shot pheasants. I shot a partridge once. Flew up into the tree with my bow and arrow. Chopped his head off. When we went and picked it up, another buddy was, man, you shot that? You did that? And he fell out of the tree, kaplunk. We went and picked it up, and his head was still strangling by a thread of skin or something, I chopped his head right off with my bow. I put it right on it and let the arrow go, and zip, chopped his head right off. How good I was. Instinctive hunter. But after that happened to me, that bumblebee darting at me and then got my attention, that's for sure. I watched it very closely, and when it dipped down and touched that croc, that gator, darn it, I keep on saying croc, I don't know. Well, they're just as big. You got just as many, not as massive jaws as a croc. A croc, I think they're 3,000 psi, where a crocodile is 3,000 psi down, and I think alligator's only 2,000, somewhere around there. PSI, biting power. But they look just the same, There's a smaller version of it, There's the junior and there's the papa. And that's the way it is down in Kenya. So that's what they're doing down in Kenya too. They got all these mud hut people. They're all living off the river. They live in mud huts. They still hunt with blowguns and spear guns and all that. Falls down the tree. Kaplunk. He runs over. Oh, put the grill on. Monkey tonight. Monkey tonight. Let's have some monkey. Did you eat monkey? I don't know. I can't eat monkey. Well, here's a piece of, here's some monkey ass. You want some monkey? You want a piece of monkey ass? Oh, this poor little baby bush boogies. That's what living in the bushes with spears and blowguns. And the priests are coming up here and begging for them because they live in mud huts and they got all these water diseases. And they're treating them like they're just scum of the earth, And what they want is the investors and everything want them off the river because they bring disease in, and everybody's afraid of going down there because of the diseases and all that, diarrhea and all the things. I'm saying, well, put water wells in so they don't have to drink that water anymore. They can get healthier. They can wash their clothes and all that other stuff. So I was praying for that for I don't know how long it was, since COVID started. I started the movies, videos, begging for them and playing my music and giving talks like I do right now. I am a certified school teacher in New York State. I retired. I had to get a master's degree, and I couldn't do it. I was sick of school. I spent 5 years getting my 4-year degree because I was a 9th grade dropout, and God prophesied over me at the Royal Azure Holy Spirit Retreat House up in Connecticut. A friend of mine owned a big restaurant too, Nate Cortez. He was a member of it. He came up, Billy, he says, I think you'd enjoy this. Why don't you go up and make a weekend up there? And then you can come to our prayer meetings at night with all my other buddies and everything. I said, what? I mean, this guy's a very wealthy man, and all of his buddies and everything. I wasn't going to go for it for the wealth or anything, but he was putting me on that level if I would make a retreat. So I went up. I went through the retreat. And there was this one guy in back of me, had his arms stretched out like a cross. He held them there for over an hour. I don't know. You try that. He's going, this is my palanka for you. My planka, they call it, right? Suffering for somebody. And this guy was suffering for me. So they brought a prophet over. Prophet put his hand on my head. You're going to be a scholar, he goes. And I'm underneath my breath saying, Does he know I only went to the ninth grade? How the heck am I going to be a scholar? You know, I'm thinking, oh, good. I'll put up with them and everything. All right, okay. Oh, well, thank you. Oh, okay. I got to get out of here. These guys are maniacs. I'm going to be a scholar. Oh. So I went through it and I came back, and next thing I know, I'm in Florida, right? And I got the GI Bill, and I didn't know what. Well, maybe I'll use it. So I used it. They accepted me. I went into the program and all that stuff because I had a disability, 30%. And I had a big hanging go off next to my head during my sleep, and my REM sleep. I don't have REM sleep anymore because of it. Because every time I go to REM sleep, the light comes on, a big flashing white light, and then kaboom! I hear the hanging go off. And that was the story. That was the story of the guy I was taking in the spot. He was the welder, ship fitter welder, and I was a ship fitter welder. I just out of welding school. I probably could have welded better than him. He didn't go to welding school, so. But he was a welder, so they put him in that position. That's what they do in engineering. Just so they got a welder in case they need an emergency. He's good enough to plug a hole up or something, you know. They got a welder. And it's, you know, if you don't know how to weld, you know, you can't go plugging holes up and stuff to get inside the ship. And that's what I'm talking about. What happened here, you see, there was 75 bunks and 157 guys. So we're all shifting. I sleep in your bunk when you're on watch, and when you come off watch, I got to go find another bunk. And when they come on watch, I got to go on watch. You know, you get 8 hours sleep or something like that, you know. So he grabbed me while I was on ship duty and stuff. He was on ship duty. Our times ran into each other. And he was a petty officer, and I was saluting all the petty officers. Yes, sir. No, sir. Just out of boot camp, everybody's laughing at me, you know. You don't have to say, salute, stand there and salute and say, yes, sir, no, sir. That's the way I was. I was a soldier, you know. I was a Navy man. I was up the Saigon River blowing everybody up. I had 16 rockets every 3 seconds. And these things are like 10-inch circumference. You know, 10-inch diameter. And they're 3 feet long. And they're all on escalades. And they're in tubes and up against the bulkhead and everything. And our ship, you know, is big enough to handle 5,000 of them or something like that, I think it was. So we go up the river. They radio in our concordances and all that stuff. And the launchers, they set on. They're like that, and the ship moves like this. Watch, here's how. Maybe I can do it here. I think I can. But the ship moves, and it's going up and down, you know, like up and down, right? But these are on the target. So the ship's going up and down, you know. But this is right on the target and it stays there while the ship's going up and down, see? And then 16 rockets. We're the puff of the sea. From a mile away, all you see is a puff of smoke and all the rockets heading for their targets. No place to run. 16 rockets every 3 seconds. Where are you going to run? We level the whole village and everybody in it. I had so many guilt feelings from that, and my fingerprints were on most of those rockets, too. And my job was, is when they didn't take off, I had a fire extinguisher. CO2, big one too, and I had to put out the fire. When they didn't take off, they just stood there and hissed. And while they were hissing, you're saying it's going to blow or what? And your heart's in your throat, and you're hitting it with your CO2, and then another guy comes along and he's going to help you, and he's turning on the water, trying to cool down the rocket, so don't get too hot, blow the whole ship up if it does. But they had to go, there was a thing, they had to go 100 revolutions before, and then hit. I'm talking about revolutions like this, you know, like going through the airs like that, 100 revolutions or something. That's what they said it was. Because when they took off, they just spin. We had 8 launchers with 2 rockets, elevators in each launcher. and we only used 4 at a time. Then we can turn around the other broadside and use those 4. But that was 8 rockets. So when we were in full blast, it was 16 rockets every 6 seconds or 7 seconds, something like that. Whatever the lapse was for the rocket to be put into it. It was like an automatic gun. You put the shell in and you click it and cock it and it goes up through the thing and you bring it back and it goes down through, that type of situation. So I'm getting tired. It must be late or something because I'm starting to fall asleep. Yeah. I see my water. I just had a sandwich too. First thing I had today. I fasted all day long. I had a couple crackers during the day. Just, when you go wine testing, you take a cracker so it makes your palate neutral again. That's what I do. I have these little cookie things that I have around, and when I get that taste in my mouth, I just grab a cookie and just eat that little cookie thing. They're wafer cookies. Just little square ones, too. They're little teeny square wafer cookies. They're good. Chocolate, peanut butter. Yummy. So anyways, I eat that, but I don't eat many of them because I'm a borderline diabetic because I was overweight, but I lost 158 pounds. I'm down to 215 right now, somewhere around there. 215, and I've been down during the last couple of weeks. I was down to a 198.7. So I went from 358 down to 198.7 on liquid marijuana. And of course, I was taking hydrocodone for my spinal stenosis. I was diagnosed as having degenerative spine disease in my 30s. So I've been with it for quite a while. I got Parkinson's, and that's been looked at, and he said I have it. My wife was such a tizzy about it, and it was starting to affect her. And he says, "Well, you don't quite have Parkinson's at full." He goes, "You have shaky hand syndrome. That's your hand, Your hand slides. Like, say if it was on my sheet, I'm going like that. When you're talking, and it goes like this while you're talking, or like this, I'm talking, I'm going like that. That's what they're talking about. That's the beginning stages of Parkinson's disease. You're losing control of your muscles and stuff like that. They just start moving involuntarily, And you're not even aware that you're doing this. I've got several films that I'm doing this. And so where are we? See, hear me? Oh, you get tired. And I told you that. Our Lady the Bumblebee. That's cool. This is my miraculous medal. This is my hat. If I turn it around, I'm not a fender man. But since I smashed all my fenders during my drug withdrawal, all those antique, beautiful Fender guitars, oh God. I'm inlaid mother of pearl, and I bought them in 75. They're like, 50 years old. Antiques. I've had them up on the wall just to look at them. The string's still on them, but I never played them or anything. Then I heard this one group from Portugal, harmoniclass.com, HARMICLASS.com. I guess there's a juke and Andiria Safar, her name is. They call her the queen of the harmonica. And I'm a harmonica man. I love to play the harmonica. But I got away from it for a long time. When I first started playing it, I just played it in the churches and everything. And some little old man comes up behind me and goes, "Sonny, your group sounds real good." And all that stuff. He says, "But that harmonica sounds like a choked chicken." I was laughing at my own criticism, First time, a little old man, telling the truth, I was experimenting on everybody anyways. I didn't know how to play harmonica. I just stuck it in a couple of songs, there's a squeaked here and squeaked there and stuff. And the old man was saying, "Oh yeah, the sound guy's pretty good, but that harmonica, you got to do something about that harmonica. It sounds like a choked chicken." So over the years, I got better. I wanted to say to him, "Well, I don't know how to play it. That's why it sounds like that. And you're my guinea pig. So I'm a choked chicken, and you're a guinea pig." Okay. So the choked chicken said to the guinea pig, uh, he never saw me get good at it because he was an old man. I didn't get good at it until I was an old man. Unless he's got still alive somehow. I don't know. My mother's 93 this May 4th. Ah. And she's gone through a big religious experience in her life. And she goes to Mass every day. She says the rosary all the time, 3 4 times a day. And she just can't understand. She says, why all these people in this nursing home? She said Frank Sinatra's mother's nursing home. Frank Sinatra and a bunch of other doctors that were wealthy billionaires, you know. Who knows? Maybe probably abortionists. How much money you make for an abortion? Is it worth it, really? You gotta not have any conscience that ripping some baby's arm or leg off and knowing they're alive. And how would you like to have that done to you, guy? Get all them abortion guys and take a great big sickle and chop their legs off. See how they like it. Yeah. Is that what happened with the nuns? You know, they were down there as nurses and all that. And this guy comes walking in and he's looking at his watch. He's going, oh, jeepers! I got an 8 o'clock appointment for dinner. And he didn't say with who, you know, his girlfriend and his wife. I don't know. He says, I have an 8 o'clock appointment dinner. And I can fit a couple of abortions in between that time and what time it is now. So he's got his doctor's stethoscope, and he goes over. He goes, I know how to do this. This is going to be easy. So, and he takes a leg off, takes an arm off, you know. And he's not giving any thought to it. Oh, sticks it over to the side, and all of his stuff is across the room. He's looking for some other stuff, you know, to do some more damage in there. Then they eventually ended up taking out the uterus. All works on me. So that's why I've been celibate for 25 years because of it. Because she won't have any part of anything, you know, doing that. She wanted to have babies and all that stuff, and I ripped her off, she says. I married you and I got ripped. I didn't have a family or all that. Oh, I'm sorry. Hope you make it to heaven, though. Because I didn't do anything, I hope. Just did a lot of things for you. Progress, you know, advance and stuff. I was always out for that. Well, there I go. See, I'm dozing out. Where was I? See, I'm no good now. Well, I gotta have to end it. God lets me know. He loves me. I love him. He's not gonna let me get hurt in any way or get too tired and pass out. And I had to shout at my wife the other night while she was laying in bed because she didn't get out of bed whole day. So I said to her, I said, what did I say? See what I mean? Oh, I guess I go back to my character here. Yeah, let me see my character. You want me to change my character? Yeah, let me see. I don't know. I'm thinking about. I'll be a bike rider. How about a biker? You want me to be a biker? Okay, let me see if I can be a biker here. Well, actually, I don't even have to take these off because these ones that I'm using, you can put them right over. You know? Like so. Here we go. Oh, there's my character. God says, Bill, get on your bike. Put your glasses on, your shades. We're going for a ride. And the ride is going to be rough. Are you ready? Yes, Lord. Let's go. Heidi ho, people. See you on the road.